Why should I train my dog?
You're training your dog to build a loving and caring bond while learning to communicate. While communicating, you will be building desirable behaviors. You'll also be reinforcing that unbreakable bond that we all want to have with our dogs.
What behavior should my dog know before we get started?
By now, your dog should be conditioned to a marker, whether an object like a clicker, a word like yes, or a nonverbal word like a thumbs up.
First, you will want to load the marker.
Remember, you'll want to load the marker. You do this by saying or using the object, and then right after, wait a second or two, then give the reward.
How come timing is important?
Also remember that timing is everything. Good timing helps build that desirable behavior. But if your timing is just a little bit off, you may be building an undesirable behavior. So you'll want to be patient and watch for what your dog is responding to.
What should I do if I'm building an undesirable behavior?
If you started to build an undesirable behavior, that is okay. Take a step back, rethink the process, and start building on the desirable behavior that you're wanting to reinforce.
Should I always give a reward if my timing is off and I mark a different behavior?
Also remember that it's important that any time you use a marker, even if it's by accident, you always want to give a reward. You want to keep the marker always reinforced as a positive reinforcement.
What will most likely happen if I don't give a reward?
If you start using the marker but not giving a reward, your dog will dismiss the marker altogether and feel there's no payoff, so why should I listen?
What should I keep in mind when teaching a new skill?
When your dog is learning a new skill, you always want to start off using a high reward, whether it be a treat, praise with words, a pat, or his favorite pastime.
How do I keep the rewards from becoming boring?
I always use rotation with rewards. This way, it prevents boredom and it makes your dog excited every time that he knows you're getting ready to go have fun, because he never knows what to expect. I have certain objects, certain treats, and certain words that I use that builds on that excitement during a lesson, and he's always eager to want to learn.
After using the marker, why should I wait a few seconds before giving the reward?
It's important to remember that anytime you use the marker, that you wait a few seconds, then give the reward. This has to be separate. There'll be those times that you're out and about and you want him to be chaining his learned skills, and therefore he'll need to wait until after the session when he hears the marker or sees it, that he knows that he'll be getting a reward.
Why should I observe my dog's body language?
During the session, you'll want to watch for your dog's body language. Learning new skills or tasks can be very daunting and can make the dog frustrated at times. So if his tail goes down or he becomes disinterested, stop what you're trying to teach him and go back to something that he has fun doing for a few minutes. have them do a trick, have them run through the tunnel, then come back to what you're trying to accomplish.
How long should each training session last?
I typically keep each session only about 30 seconds to a minute long because you're building with stages and therefore you're adding slowly to his repertoire rather than wanting him to perform the exact move at the exact time perfectly.
Once my dog learns a new task, how can I proof it?
Once the dog has learned the task, you'll want to practice with the 3 Ds. The 3 Ds is distractions, distance, and durations. With these 3 Ds, I always use intervals. So sometimes the distractions may be high, sometimes the distance may be short or long, and sometimes the duration may be short or maybe even up to a 5-minute sit.
How should I end each training session?
I always keep in mind to end on a good note. So let's say you're teaching your dog to sit pretty, but he's just not getting it. His paws are not even lifting off the ground. You realize that he's frustrated. So at that point, I would have my dog do a lay down, do a rollover trick, give him a click, a treat, clap my hands, and finish on a high note.
How do I let my dog know we're all done for today?
The final thing I do during each session is add a release word. My word happens to be ganz gut. And then the dog knows that we're all done for today and he can go back to just being a dog, whether that's romping around in the backyard or playing in the mud or just laying on the couch and enjoying his day.
Will I always need to have a marker and a reward with me?
Also keep in mind that you're not always going to be using a marker. Once your dog has completed the task at hand, you'll be using interval training. This will keep reinforcing the behavior, but you're going to maybe give him a treat every 3 times he does it, every once time he does it, back to every 5 times he does it. There also may be times that you decide that you want to extinguish the reward altogether because learning the task at hand, such as ringing the bell to go out, will be reward enough.
Why should I smile and have fun?
Finally, always remember to stay relaxed, smile, and have fun. Because having fun and staying upbeat and positive is contagious, not only to other human beings around you, but to your dog as well.